Oh, what's this? A cute looking drone. I wonder who it belongs to. This is Sierra, the 51st Overwatch hero that came out with the release of Season 2. And I have 50 Sierra facts that you might find interesting or silly. Let's go. Apart from being the 51st hero, she's also the 23rd DPS hero, 5th American hero since Ashe in 2018, and the 6th hero whose name starts with the letter S, which now makes S the most common starting letter among Overwatch heroes. It also means that every American hero in the game is a DPS hero. The name Sierra is a Spanish word that can be translated to mountain range, which is also her entire theme, being centered around mountains and mountain climbing. And the promotional assets such as thumbnails or her ability kit graphic that are used in the social posts feature a pattern that resembles a topographic map, often used for terrain elevations like mountains. You might find her model color scheme a bit weird, like it's a selection of random colors. But in reality, it is a split complementary colors that are being used. Red for beret, shoulder and jacket, green for torso and legs, and pink for her arm and drone. There's also a bit of orange going on, which I do feel like makes it a bit overwhelming in terms of colors, but yeah. In real life, a red beret in America is meant for airborne units, which sort of fits her description since she has a drone that she can fly around with. Sierra's quick melee animation is quite similar to the one that Widowmaker, Soldier, Freya and Emre have, making her the 5th hero with a similar looking quick melee attack. However, the quick melee in first person is a punch. It's not the first time something like this happens, so I'm doing you all a service by showing how it would look like in first person, matching the third person animation. Perfect. And she is also the 5th hero in the game who does a salute hello animation. Similar to Soldier and some other heroes, Sierra's weapon model also features the ammo count screen at the back of her weapon. Her favorite number seems to be a 00, as we can see on her jacket and from her school sports uniform. In terms of height, she seems to be around the same height as Iliari, or somewhere around 160 centimeters, or 5'3". And in case you were wondering, her hair is not part of a hitbox. If you look close to her left arm, you can spot a flowing hexagon pattern going around her arm. Depending on whether or not you have your drone active, her hello and quick melee animations will look differently. A very tiny detail that you can see on her model are these dog tags that say Banks, Kendra and Nocton 00. Kendra Banks being the real name of her mother, and Nauton is for Project Nauton, which is a secret project for the Soldier Enhancement Program that produced soldiers like Soldier 76 and Soldier 24, aka Reaper. And the number 00 on the dog tags tells us that Sierra's mom was the first soldier of the said program. Sierra's weapon works in a similar fashion to Tracer's guns, where one click consumes 2 bullets, so even though she technically has 80 bullets, she effectively has only 40. She has a special sound effect for whenever she is below half ammo, and I'm sorry to say this, but it sounds like a bark of a sad puppy. I cannot unhear this, I really do apologize. Sierra has quite unique footsteps, which is the sound of the military boots. And you can also hear a bit of clanking sound as well. The name of her base skins are all references to the national parks of America, which also have mountains. Upon shooting and hitting your tracking shot, the barrel of a weapon expands to indicate that you currently have the tracker on the enemy player. Also, the tracking shot animation is different in third person, where the barrel expands and does a quick spin, while in first person the barrel only expands. A rather funny sound effect plays whenever you lose and regain line of sight of the target with the tracker. In a scenario where you want to stop tracking your enemy to shoot someone else, you can cancel the tracker by pressing secondary fire again. Enemies who are hit with a tracker shot can see it from their point of view, and it makes a distinct sound as well. And Sierra is not the only hero who sticks projectiles on the enemies that can also be seen from enemies' POV. So I took the liberty to take all of those heroes and see how it would look like with all of them stacked on a single target. Upon hitting a target with the tracker, your weapon is automatically reloaded. So, technically speaking, you can use tracker shot to hit an enemy and then cancel it if you want a quick reload. The track shot animation in third person is her taking aim. It is technically possible to shoot tracked enemies past the enemy shield, however, it can be quite impractical. Unlike heroes like Zenyatta or Junker Queen who can ping enemies through a wall whenever the ability is stuck on the enemy, Sierra is unable to do so, however she can still track enemies from her point of view. If you are on Sierra and you go to Dorado and enter this room, and then look at one of these monitors, you can see a special message that is only visible to her. I am not sure what it means. The name of her drone is Dorothy, as you can see the name on it. The original abbreviation of the drone can be translated to Remote Operated Traversal Helper. The drone also has a cute sticker slapped onto it, which seems to be a butterfly. The anchor drone changes its animation and plays a special sound effect depending on if you are in range of it, as well as this UI indicator. Although, I would argue that it could be a nice quality of life change to also include a radius around the drone to indicate whether you are in range or not. While active, it plays a special sound effect that allows you to know how much time you have left until the drone disappears. This sound effect can only be heard by Sierra herself, while her teammates and the enemies hear a different sound effect. The drone itself has no collisions, so no other hero can stand on it, grapple it, or place any deployables. However, it will stop most projectiles like Graviton Surge, Nades, Widow Mine, but not Sombra's Translocator. Congratulations, Sombra players. Finally, a decent quality of life feature for all of you. The Medi-Drone perk adds a small invisible health pack to Sierra's drone, which can only be picked up by her and not her allies. So you can, in theory, use the drone with this perk for a quick heal, instead of grappling. The drone, just like Symmetra turrets, doesn't have a health bar, most likely due to having only 80 HP. The ability icon of her drone also changes depending on whether it is deployed or not. One of the creative ways of using Sierra's drone is to stop a Deadeye, Roadhog's Hook, or Zarya's Graviton Surge, or pretty much any throwable ability. The sound effect for Sierra's Tremor Charge sounds differently to enemy players. If you throw the charge in the sky, the sound is constant from your point of view. However, the enemies start to hear it shortly before it lands on the ground. The Tremor Charge has an infinite travel time, meaning you can do lineups with it, such as these ones. It is quite difficult to see how this grenade looks like, so here's a close-up in case you're curious. If you throw a Tremor Charge at the deflecting Genji, the kill feed will display a Tremor Charge icon instead of the usual deflect icon. Sierra's ultimate, Trailblazer, sends out a drone that deploys 23 explosive bombs that detonate after 1 second. These bombs can be eaten and deflected. The spread of these bombs varies depending on how high you've aimed the ultimate. If you aim it all the way to the floor, the spread is going to be quite tight, and the opposite if you aim it all the way up. Even though it seems to be that Sierra is utilizing the very same bot for her ultimate as the anchor drone, you can in fact have both of them active at the same time. The drone is able to go through all the barriers, so don't expect to be safe from it. This ultimate can be quite useful against the enemies on the high ground that you cannot see.
Eyes on the sky!
So while the bombs can be consumed by Mizuki's ultimate, the drone cannot. So if you use Sierra's ultimate against Mizuki's ultimate, make sure you send a drone directly inside of his ultimate. Both the Anchor Drone and the Trailblazer ults cannot be hacked by Sombra, however the EMP still works against them both. The Tracking Shot cannot be cleansed by Zarya's Bubble, but it can be removed from phase-out abilities such as the ones of Moira or Reaper. And it can also be cleansed by Suzu. And no, it cannot be cleansed by Sombra's EMP, another nerf to Sombra players, I guess. Sierra's ultimate can be fully denied by Mei and Hazard's walls, provided that the drone collides with the wall. The Trailblazer ultimate cannot be damage boosted, for a good reason I suppose. Genji is also capable of deflecting Sierra's tracking shot, however nothing happens besides dealing damage. And no, nothing happens if Sierra is on his team. However, if the enemy Genji deflects a tracker to your Genji who then deflects it to another enemy hero, then unfortunately it also does not trigger an aimbot. Although you can have 2 trackers on one hero at the same time. Or if there are 2 Sierras, 2 Echoes and 1 Genji, then you can have 4 trackers on one player. Although highly impractical and extremely niche, it is technically possible to shoot enemies while behind a cover without even seeing their hero model. So, as of right now, it is possible to have 4 grapples on the drone. If you use your grapples just before the drone expires, your cooldown will refresh a second later. Also, her Tremor Charge ability icon looks like a snail, and the UI reminds me of this thingy. And these were all the details I could find about Sierra. Let me know what you think of her, or if I missed anything. Feel free to check out more videos about hero facts and details, and feel free to support me on Patreon if you really like my videos. Thank you all for watching.